Krystal Pegram, Executive Director of Roxbury Presbyterian Church Social Impact Center. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome.
I'm very excited to be here.
I'm
Super
excited to have you. Yeah, you're right down the road, so thanks for popping in.
Short drive.
And so tell me a little bit about the work that you do with RPCSIC.
So I'm the executive director. I'm the newest executive director. I am taking over for Liz Walker, who is just this powerhouse journalist, history-making, first black female journalist in the city of Boston.
Yes.
And so several years ago, the church, which is Roxbury Presbyterian Church, is on the corner of Warren, started a social impact center because they really wanted the SIC to be kind of the hands and feet of how they reach out into the community. And so several kind of years later, once Reverend Liz came on, there was a very traumatic incident that happened, and one of the church members, a young guy named Corey Johnson, was unfortunately killed. And it was kind of typical of that environment at the time. There's just a lot of shootings, a lot of young black men who were losing their lives. And so just kind of following that incident, Reverend Walker talks about the impact that she saw it have on the family, on the church. And then really kind of by and large, the community was echoing the same thing, where it's just kind of this paralyzation that happens after you lose someone, after something tragic and traumatic like that happens. And so they started to think about, how do we do this work of healing this family, healing the church, helping people to grieve, and then also seeing that same need was echoed in the community. How do we heal folks? How do we help people to restart their lives, in kind of the wake of this trauma? But it really is that need to have people with you, because you don't really know what tomorrow's going to feel like. You just wake up and you're like, it's today, and it's not a good day, right?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
So just having that person or people that are there because they kind of made this commitment to be with you. That's really this work. It's us being with our community, being with people who've experienced trauma and loss and grief and all the other things that can happen just by living life every day. So that's the work that we do.
Right. And like you said, it can be so paralyzing in those moments of grief and loss, where you feel so vulnerable that you don't want to let anybody else in.
No.
So having those structures in that community is so important. So tell me about your upcoming Healing Arts Immersion event, sort of this fusion of art and healing and trauma therapy. The official title is You Deserve Joy.
You Deserve Joy.
Intergenerational Trauma Healing Through Creative Arts Immersion. Tell us what's in store.
Oh gosh, so many things. I get really excited. I'm an artist, I'm a creative. And even for me, once I kind of started on the art walk, which is really, it happens in your childhood. You just know that you have a certain affinity for things. The work that I started to do with artists was to say, you don't have to kind of cut things away. Everything can fit together because you are an individual and you're actually comprised of kind of all these different pieces. Right. So honestly, this event is reflective of that same vision. It's the idea that the arts, all of them, have their place in healing. So we're going to do things like face painting because that's fun. We're going to do things like canvases. We'll have weaving and tapestry. We'll have those things that are like textiles. We'll have that. And then we'll have painting. We're going to do like a community canvas that will take place throughout the entire event. So we'll have these staples, really. I'm so excited that we're able to get them. Paul Goodnight and Pro Black, who are, these kind of heavy names in the graffiti, the painting, the visual arts world. And they're going to be creating a piece that kind of goes on for hours that really kind of captures the spirit of the event. So it's really, really awesome. And then there's one particular element I'm super excited about because this is my music side coming out. So we have a program at Social Impact Center called Can We Talk? Which is people get to come and share their stories, and it's just a space for us to just listen. We're not trying to fix anything. We're not trying to repair anything. We just want to give people the space to talk. Right. So I thought, how do we do that, but also it be artistically infused? And so I created this event called Soul Story. So people will be able to come in, they'll be able to share a short story, and then I'm going to have a band, and I'm going to have songwriters who are there listening to their story, and they're writing a song, they're writing a hook, and it's like a musical response to what a person just shared. So I'm very,
that
very excited about
that
Saul's
is
story.
incredible. I mean, I can't even imagine the visceral reactions that people are going to get. I mean, music connects people, and it creates such like a deep, deep, intense emotion in people, especially when they talk about grief and loss. Wow, that is going to be so impactful.
Very excited.
You know, the name of the event is You Deserve Joy, which is something that people who are in post-traumatic stress have to be reminded of. Tell us a little bit about why you decided to name the event You Deserve Joy.
You know, it's an audacious statement to say to someone in a state of mourning or grief, or even just the paralyzation that happens after you experience trauma, to say, hey, I know that you feel entitled to crying. I hope that you do. I hope you feel entitled to kind of those sadder, negative emotions that come with loss. But also there's this other element that you also are entitled to. And not only do you need it, you deserve it. It's that difficulty of, you know, following something tragic, feeling like, well, if I laugh, if I smile, if I genuinely feel like, oh, I'm okay today, does it mean that I've now left the person behind that I lost? Does it mean that I'm forgetting the memory of that person? And no, you're always going to carry those people with you. I carry all the people that have come before me with me. And also, joy is such an important part of the healing journey. It's an important part of the healing process. It can reorient your senses. It can reorient the way that you see yourself. It can help you to understand that it's not something that is wrong with me. It's something that happened to me. Right. And joy really does, you know, it really does carry us forward and help to kind of rearrange and reorient how we think about things. And so if we just stay in states of kind of constant depression or you know, the hyper connectivity of being stressed or overly stimulated, it will start to affect the way we think after a while, and the way we reason, the way we interact with others, the way we build relationships. And so having joy is that kind of central piece, and just reminding people, no, you deserve to be happy too, right? It's okay to laugh. It's okay to feel something that's not just the tragedy and the loss, but something that makes you feel good. And so that's what this event is. It's us making a very bold statement to people who might not think that they do, just to say, no, you deserve joy.
Right, exactly. And that is a message that I'm sure, you know, those who have passed on want us to feel as well, right? Like they want us to live our lives with that beauty that they saw in us before. So, you know, the name of the event also has to do with intergenerational trauma healing.
Yes.
You know, why is that type of healing so important, and how does creating art sort of guide us down those paths of healing?
I mean, those are fantastic questions. So the intergenerational part is very interesting because I think there's something that's happening in society that tells us, I'm a millennial, right? So I know that because I've been told that so much. And I've also been told who I am because I am a part of a specific generation. I think that we're continuing that. I see that with Gen Alpha and baby boomers and blah, 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 right? So we see all this kind of separation that's starting to happen because it's like, oh, I don't really understand those people. I don't really, but those people are your children and your grandchildren, right? Or your aunts and your uncles or your mom or your dad or your grandparents, right? So we are connected. And there's really something very important about what we generationally can pass on and receive from the other generations, right? So it's really, really important that we don't kind of further isolate ourselves. I think there's a lot of things that are isolating to us today. There's a lot of like, you're in this group and you're in that group or that category. So it's really, really, really important that as we look at community, we don't buy further into that because it further isolates us, which is a problem when you're trying to heal, right?
Totally.
Isolation is the issue.
Yeah.
And so healing demands that you be connected to other folks. And so for us, we were like, we can't just say, oh, this event is, we're just more focused on the youth, or no, we're just more focused on this particular group. No, we want everybody to come together because as I have learned as an artist, everybody in the room creates the space, right? Everybody in that room sets the temperature and the tone of what's happening. So you want that youthful energy, you want that sage, wise energy, right? You want those different energies to be a part of of the space. And then again, we also want to be healing in community. We want to be healing together and seeing that there's value in somebody else's perspective.
You know, that part about different generations sort of hearing each other and teaching and learning from each other, that's where the healing begins and ends, right there, you know? So tell us, why did you decide to collaborate with the Mayor's Office of Arts and Culture on this project? I know that they're a big part of this.
They are. It's, you know, I'm very fortunate. I'm originally from North Carolina, and I've seen kind of different treatments of the arts. I've seen the way that the arts are regarded in different spaces. I feel like we're very fortunate to live in Boston. I feel this way. Because not just with Mayor Wu, but this started with Mayor Walsh, and there was this idea, understanding that we really do need to make an investment in the arts and how that impacts kind of the landscape of our city.
Totally.
And so I love the fact that there was now this arts activation grant, and I love that it used those words, because that's exactly what we're thinking of. We're like, yeah, it is an activation, right? It's an animation. It's kind of reawakening things in us. I mean, the arts practices are ancient practices. You know, people have been using singing and sound bathing and, you know, all these various kind of things as healing practices long before you and I were here. Right?
Yeah.
And there's a power in that. I think it's beautiful to know that the city of Boston also is recognizing and understanding the place that the arts has just in the fabric of the city. Totally. And so it was really wonderful. I think the benefit that we have in being able to partner with the city of Boston is that it helps us to expand the reach of what we do. You know, it's like, we're going to do it anyway. Yeah. We're going to do it regardless. But it gives us the opportunity to be able to spread further. It gave me personally the opportunity to be able to include more things into the event. Totally. One of the things that we're going to do, which I'm very, very grateful for, and is a result of this grant, is that we're going to be able to give out 150 free meals to every participant. Wow. Who comes to the event, right? So 150 meals for the day, folks can just go up and get food. So there's a hot meal that you're getting, and you're getting all of these free and wonderful, immersive and healing things that are kind of taking place around you. So we're very grateful to be able to partner with the city of Boston to do that.
And it further creates that like feeling in the community of, I am supported. There's a place that I can go if something happens. I know that there's people who are going to hear me out. You know, there's a soft landing pad in case something goes wrong.
And isn't it wonderful to feel like, with all the ways that you can feel like the government is abandoning you, to say, oh wait, hold on, the city of Boston is actually like, no, we're here in support of your healing. I think that's beautiful.
I think it is too.